and welcome to Teach ESL Independently with Neve. So welcome to this video. This is a video for newbie online ESL teachers who are trying to find their own students, trying to work out what to do. It's very easy to feel overwhelmed, okay, especially at the beginning. So I wanted to give you my top 3 traps that you must avoid if you are wanting to become a successful independent teacher, so you have the freedom and flexibility to work when you want, okay? So the first trap that you must avoid is don't build your own website. I want to debunk this myth completely. A lot of independent teachers, when they start out, the first thing they think they need to do is build their own website. They think that this is the answer, this is the way to find your own students. So what do teachers do? Well, they spend days, maybe weeks, maybe longer, building a website, creating a website as a idea that this is how you will find your own students, because of course as an independent teacher you are sourcing your own students. You have to win over potential students. That's the first step before you can teach, you know. And what do teachers do is they build their own website. Now this is something that especially at the beginning you don't want to be doing. There's a number of different reasons why. The first one is that you don't have the traffic flow, okay? You have very limited visibility. So it's very difficult for your target audience, the people you're trying to attract, to even find your website. And then what do? Well, hang on, no one's seen my website. Let me share it on my Facebook. So then you share it on your Facebook. I've seen many teachers do this. And you actually only share it with your friends because they're the people that are on your Facebook. And they know English, they don't need to learn English, they are not your target audience. So yeah, you really don't have much visibility when you begin and make your own website. Another thing is that you aren't trying to, most likely anyway, to become an independent teacher. You're not trying to start a big school with loads of scheduling, timetabling, hundreds of students, you know. As an independent teacher, you need a handful of students, maybe 10, 15 students, 8, 9, depending on what you want, what your goal is. But, you know, we're not looking for more than 15 students, really. So you don't need to be creating a website, going through all that saga to find 10 or 15 people, okay? And another thing is that you can really do, you can do yourself, you can make it worse for yourself because you don't actually probably have much experience in website designing and the copyright, which is the words that you put on a website. And so you actually write the really wrong thing. It's really important, the words that you say. And I've seen some really dire websites. I don't want you making that mistake. It's very easy for newbies to fall into that trap of must make my own website. No, don't worry. That is something that you do not need to do, okay? So number 1, don't fall into the trap of trying to build your own website, especially in the beginning. This is something that you do not need to do to find students. My reason being as well is, okay, go for it, build your own website. Then what? You still haven't got the students, even if you've built the website. So yes, I really don't want you making that mistake. So many teachers make that mistake, and it's really difficult to watch because they're wasting their time, and time's valuable, you know. You don't want to be wasting your time making these errors. Okay, number 2, this is a big one. Be careful who you take advice from, who you listen to. You might be part of some Facebook groups, you might know of a few colleagues from an online company. You might be asking your friends what to do. You might be reading blog posts, watching random YouTube videos. You need to be careful because a lot of the people that you might be listening to, fellow teachers, they also don't know what to do. They are a newbie as well, and so they're not going to teach you anything new. They're not going to show you the path. They're not going to hold your hand as you go through the process of marketing yourself and finding your own students, all right? You want to be listening to someone like me, who I've had the experience of being an independent teacher, you know, like I live here, I live in a completely different country to where I'm from. I'm from London, I live in Tenerife. I'm completely independent. I don't work for a company. I don't source my students from a specific company. I found them myself. And that experience is very valuable for you. The advice that I can share with you is worth gold, you know. It's the information that I can share with you. I can help you. There's so much value in that you want to be listening to people who have experience teaching independently, who know how to effectively market themselves and sell classes, you know. It's nothing, you know, groundbreaking, don't worry, but you do have to win over your students before you begin teaching them, you know. That is part of it. So be really wary about who you want to be taking advice from, because it can be slightly counterproductive. And going back on my point before, time is valuable, time is important to us. We don't want to be wasting our time. There's nothing more infuriating than doing something and then thinking, why did I do that? So yes, as a newbie, please don't make that mistake. Just listen to people that have actual valuable advice for you, okay? I have a whole load of videos that will be perfect for you to get you started, okay? How I first started, how I found my first 4 students. I've got a great video on that, okay? There is a lot for you to go at. And the third one, this is a really important one that I've written down here. Don't limit yourself to going onto an online company to then find students, all right? I'm talking about things like italki, Cambly, Preply, these types of websites where you are literally in a long list of a load of other teachers and then you obviously teach that way. Reason being is if you do that, yes, okay, they can technically source students for you, which is the bit that you find difficult, but it's really at the detriment of a lot of things. You know, you earn peanuts with these companies. It really is earning peanuts. You've got a lot of strict rules to follow, which you don't really want to be following. It's very stressful. It's very overwhelming. You get paid later down the line. You don't necessarily get paid in advance. As an independent teacher, you know, I get paid in advance. I get paid before, and so can you as an independent teacher. You get paid and then you teach your classes. It works so much better for you, right? And another big difficulty that teachers have is that with these online companies like italki, Preply, Cambly, etc., it's very hard to differentiate yourself because you are primarily compared on one thing only, which is the price of your classes, because you put mainly a price per hour, which is already the wrong thing to do. And why is this difficult for you? Well, first of all, number one, you know, the first rule is you don't go to a place where you're compared, okay? You don't want to put yourself in that position because it's very difficult for you to increase your price, because if you look at the list of teachers and everyone's charging a specific amount, it's very difficult for you to increase your price because you won't get chosen. The fear of not being chosen, because why should I choose you when I can find another teacher for $5 less an hour, for example, hypothetically. So it's really difficult for you to increase your price. And then, of course, the competition. So have the confidence, you know, to go for it, to find your own students, because you can get paid in advance. You don't have to live in that stress. You can get paid way more than you are getting now, okay? And there is so much that comes with being an independent teacher, the freedom and the flexibility, which I'm sure you desire as well. You crave that. The freedom to, you know, if you want to go on a little weekend trip, you don't have to teach. Like, for example, this even happened today. I had a class with one of my students this morning. I have my mum and brother coming out to visit me in Tenerife next week. And I also have a class one of the days. Now, my family are here just for a few days. I want to spend as much quality time with them as possible. I don't really want to be thinking about teaching my English classes. So what do? Well, I just essentially said to her at the end of the class, a week in advance, you know, respecting my students as they respect me, okay? I said, oh, just to let you know, my family is coming out to visit. Is it okay if we can reschedule the class? We've rescheduled it for a different day when my family are not here. She's still happy. We've organised the time, the date. She's not losing out. I'm also not losing out because I also get to spend time with my family that weekend. So, you know, that's just one example of the flexibility you have as an independent teacher. So I will leave it there. The three traps to avoid as a newbie teacher is don't build your own website. You don't need to do that, okay? Don't take advice from people who don't know either. And the third one, excuse me, is don't limit yourself to an online company. You know your worth, know your value, and know that you can charge more. You can find your own students, you can source your own students, and you can have the money that you deserve, okay? So I will leave it there. I am off out for some lunch now, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.